We can patch you in to a phone call.
Can she hear you?
Yeah. Okay, Liam, we're gonna do this. We're gonna move on with the program, and if we manage to figure it out, then we can. So the next 10 minutes we move on. All right. Can you guys do me a favor? Can you stand up and come here and move the chairs back so we have to Do you know any nice to watch? So we do our photos. Gather up. Please come close to me. Are you alright?
Yes. Are we dancing?
Huh?
Are we dancing?
We should dance. No? I'm very cold. I don't know. You probably feel fine being from this area. Yeah. We're gonna put the heater back on. So we're gonna play a little game just quickly. Have you played rock, scissors, papers? Is anyone here who is not familiar with rock, scissors, papers? You're not?
Oh, yeah. No, wait. Oh, yeah.
We're gonna play the giant one, just to get to know each other. So basically, it works this way. We find a person and play one game. So and we introduce ourselves. Hi, I'm Manel.
Hi, I'm Jono.
Hi, Jonah. Then we play. Huh? Say you win. Now he wins. So you carry on, and you find another person. And the one who lost, in this case me, I become your fan. Like, come on, Jono, come on. You find someone else. You play. Right. Yeah. Okay, so you lost. So you and I will become. Come on, Jamie. Okay. All right. So that's basically. All right. So Michael. Pietro. Okay, I need 2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You can hear me now? Yeah.
Sorry.
Are we through?
Yeah. We need 3 minutes.
Hello, that's Yang.
All right. Okay. So.
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So then the thing is that we play, and then there will be a final, and then there will be a winner, and then that's it. But yeah, listen to the name of the person, and because you're going to become a fan of that person.
Brilliant.
Is it clear? Brilliant. No, we play one time. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. So we play one time.
Reveal on the third.
On the third. Is that clear? Any questions? All right, you can play.
Ja, wat die maakt we zijn.
We're stuck here. Okay, we agree that what's your name again? Do you mind if I leave you?
Bienvenido, champion! All right, let's go back into our seats.
Seats. We're watching.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, good, we can hear you too.
As well as bringing a rose brought some
Some
cacao.
Oh, nice.
Raw chocolate. It's about fit at any point if you want to have a little.
Eric is there.
Hello.
That's good.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Way, technology is great when it works, hey? I actually organised 2 days ago a concert from a great Australian band called the Formidable Vegetable Sound System, and I brought them from Australia to the event that I'm at on Zoom. So, you know, it saved a lot of carbon miles having a concert going on like this. So I'm so pleased to be able to virtually come and see you guys in your starting up phase, which I don't know how much Eric told you of how when I set up the Southeast Climate Alliance, and a little bit of that history, how we started. In February, I was asked by a really active local person what she thought that we should focus on. And, you know, I just realised that there's loads of great little groups, but they don't grow very much. And all of these good people doing good stuff, but it can feel quite isolating into small groups. So I well, what happens if we were to bring all the active groups just in Sussex together? So that was really the plan, was just to bring people in Sussex. And then over the border in Dorking, someone said, well, hey, we've got Transition Town Dorking, can we join? And little by little, people heard. And we put on an event just like you guys now. And the first time, I invited 12 organisations, all of the transition towns and the active groups in the area. And from that, we now have 65 member organisations. And it's been amazing seeing how it's grown. So we have all of the wildlife trusts in Kent, Sussex, Surrey and Hampshire, all of the CPREs, the Friends of the Earth, Extinction Rebellion, Transition Towns, Repair Cafes. And what we're saying is it's any groups that are environmental, social or faith-based organisations working on climate action. So that's really kind of been because there's really loads of great churches that are doing environmental stuff. And so now we've kind of got this Churches United Together group as well. So the idea of, you know, firstly bringing together the groups under one umbrella. And the feedback that I've been getting from some of the groups has been when they've gone and engaged with the council, before they would say, well, hi, you know, we're in transition worthy, and the council would, oh yeah, you know, what are you up for again? And then they said, as soon as they said we're transition worthy and a member of the South East Climate Alliance, the council started to listen to them. Oh, and more people have heard about this membership group. So it seems to be giving more weight to each individual group to now be a part of an alliance. And we've really, you know, kind of developed this relationship with the councils. And we, in our first meeting, like with what you guys will have now, we decided amongst the room to choose one action that we all wanted to get behind. And we kind of went into subgroups. And we, you know, in these subgroups, we were like, well, okay, what kind of things? And there was a divest movement that was happening. There was various different movements. But what everybody agreed on at the end was to push the councils to declare climate emergency. And, you know, some people are, oh yeah, but it's just words, maybe it's not enough. And I see it a little bit like Alcoholics Anonymous. First you put your hand up and you say, I'm addicted. I'm addicted to fossil fuels, I've got a problem, and then we look at the 12-step action plans. So I kind of took that looking for councils to say, okay, first you're admitting we've got a problem, now we need to work with you to be able to look at the areas that we know we need to look at housing, transportation, agriculture. And as we started to kind of like develop this model, which we are still totally in the early days, but on the Southeast Climate Alliance website, we've now got resources for campaigns and resources for councils, so that other groups that are starting like us have somewhere where they can go and already get the information that's being compiled. Because so much time is spent just us all reinventing the wheel and trying to find the right information to kind of feed to them. And otherwise councils are forever doing their own trials. So it was like, well, actually, you don't need to do a trial on this. This has all been written up. We know what we need to do. And so really kind of to be able to encourage them to move forward a bit quicker. So that's what really seems to be, kind of working. And now we're moving, so we now have one subgroup in the steering group that's working with liaison with councils. And then now we're looking at doing monthly actions. So getting behind any of the member organisations and asking them, okay, is there anything you want us to all help you with? So the first one we're doing on November the 30th is getting behind the Woodland Trust, because they have the big climate fight back coming, and that's a pledge for 1 million people to plant trees. So getting behind something real like that and saying, okay, we can do that. We can, through our organisations, through our networks, encourage people to pledge to the big climate fight back, get them to pledge to plant a tree, and that feeling of action, that people are actually coming together and taking action together, is also really uniting. It's so true, that great African saying that says, one stick alone is easily broken, but together we're so much stronger. So, seeing this in our bioregions, where what we've created in the southeast has grown so much quicker than we thought. And now also down in the southwest, they came up to one of our meetings about starting the Southwest Climate Alliance. So, we can kind of see this replication. And I think, a really interesting question for me, for all of our groups, is how would nature organise us? How would nature organise our meetings and this replication that nature's so good at? And so starting to look at a different way of us really kind of using our mycelial web to connect in with others, so that together we can just have a lot more strength. So that's a little bit of kind of like the history of how and why we set up SECA, Southeast Climate Alliance, and where we're going. And so far it's been just totally voluntary led. There's been absolutely no money involved in it at all. We've been lucky that church groups and various organisations have given us their places to have meetings, and so far it's been operating and growing like this without any funds. So we're now in a question of like, okay, do we now move into this other area, and what's the best way for us all to work like this? So I don't know if I want to kind of open it up to you guys. If you have any questions.
Does anyone have a question? And maybe want to?
Well, I would like to have a link to those resources. As you were saying.
Yeah.
I think they're all on the Southeast Climate Alliance website. You've got a web page, haven't you, Nicola? SE?
Yes, yeah. SE for Southeast Climate Alliance. So, and obviously just use anything on there. That's what it's all for, is to be able to kind of share all these resources. So we've got, action for individuals, action for campaigns, and actions for councils. So for me, it's kind of like looking at the systemic change, which is, it's all good, taking to the streets, but we've got to look, it's not just a political issue, it's legal, economical, social, and individual. So it's like, well, how can we also inspire individuals to feel like by taking action that they're part of the change? So, we've kind of been, and there's another organisation that actually wants to set up, they're in London, a daily action which it could be sent through for people that just want to be kind of guided as to what to do. But yeah, so I mean, and the idea really is that all of us to be able to kind of compile these ideas and these actions, which could be something that we could all ripple out. And it's like, well, if we all focused on one thing per month and got behind a different organisation, how much more strength we will have. So, you know, that's really kind of the mission behind this. And I also made up these little flyers, which says, the planet needs you, what can you do? And it's been amazing. They've just been being copied, and because when we, you know, go to our events, a lot of people really want to do something. They just really don't know where to start and what to do. I really encourage, you know, some kind of like basic little flyer for people to see a 10-step plan of what that means. And so, you know, for me, the kind of that part of the systemic change of like political, yes, are people engaging with their local councils, parish, district, county? Can we get more engagement happening with local people questioning them? Legally, you know, are people aware of the importance of the law of ecocide and signed up as conscientious protectors, as protectors? It's really important we understand that, you know, we're in this mess because, you know, there is no criminal law. And so looking at the economic system, really encouraging people to say, well, hey, you know, there's no point fighting against a system. You know, actually we need to create a new one. So encouraging everyone to move all their money, you know, out of banks and pensions and divesting and moving that into, you know, where we want to see our money being shared. And lastly, just really being able to, you know, have this vision of where we want to go. Because right now, our kind of collective consciousness is behind climate breakdown and extinction. And we get what we focus on. And when all of us, this kind of apocalyptic Hollywood, what we're being fed, we don't see very clearly the other part. So it really encouraging people to be like painting it, singing it, writing about it, so that we can clearly see what the other path looks like. So I think that's how we can, you know, help with this visioning of being able to, you know, create another world.
Great, thank you, Nicola. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Behind the schedule. Hopefully this is the beginning of something. We'll have something we can kind of report back about where things may be going in our area. Thanks a lot. And so
Thank you. I'm so excited to see the coming togetherness and just keep on keeping on, remembering that action is the antidote to despair.
Yeah.
thank you.
Yay.
Apparently, she got the idea of this once a month action from the police. Apparently, that's what they do. Once a month, they have something that they concentrate on, like speeding or mobile phones or whatever it is. And it seems to work with the police, so maybe it works with us too. Anyway, so back to you,
Yes.
Manel. And
We're late.
we are late, so
We're late.
we need to move on to the next
All right. So
item.
are you sitting or standing right next to someone you know? Can we reshuffle so you don't? It works.
It does.
It works. Okay, so no need to explain this rule now. So it means if you see someone with a hand up, you raise your hand and you close your mouth. It's a simple rule. It works so well for groups to move on. Right, so can you take a seat? Sit down.
because now we're gonna try something called the 1-2-4. It's an exercise to start elevating our collective intelligence. So the question is, of the things that we have heard this morning, what are the things that matter to you? What does resonate with you? What do you care about? What ideas do you have? What interests do you have? What are your superpowers? I don't know. Things that you want to elevate for the rest of the group. We're going to use this 1-2-4 to go about this. With the ultimate objective that we're going to design the conversations this afternoon, divided into groups. So the way it works is, the 1 of the 1-2-4 means yourself. We're going to spend 2 minutes thinking, okay, what have I heard this morning? You know, like Liam was a bit lost, but it's okay. You know, we can figure out what are the things that you want to talk about, and then we will do the 2, which is in pairs. We will discuss them, and then in 4s, and that will be basically the exercise. Does that make sense?
So we do it with ourselves first.
Yeah, it will be individually. It's like, okay, what do I really care about? Really, what do I want to talk about? Questions?
How do I put a hand up without implying I want you to shut up?
Raise
So
a finger.
are we limiting ourselves to what we've heard this morning?
Pardon?
In the what we want to talk about later, are we limiting ourselves
No,
to
no,
what
no,
we've
no.
heard